A vision captures hopes, dreams and aspirations for the future. It is an ideal that inspires and can be worked towards. The Eastern Cape, South Africa, a place of rich natural beauty and wide open spaces, an inspiring place of dramatic coastline, where the legendary spirit of a people lives on, a land of turbulent history, where strong social engagement has contributed significantly to the achievement of a democratic South Africa. But yesterday's scars still mark the economic landscape of this region. The Eastern Cape remains among the poorest of the country's provinces, with inadequate infrastructure, a backlog in services, high rural-urban migration, low education levels, and extreme physical poverty, particularly in the former homelands of Ciskei and Transkei. The Eastern Cape Provincial Government, together with social partners, has attempted to address these issues through the Provincial Growth and Development Plan and Constituent Rural Development Strategy. At local level, municipalities have been compelled to create integrated development plans for implementation and monitoring purposes. However, real and lasting change is yet to be seen. Despite the existing potential, success has been limited by inadequate experience, resources and management, compounded by a conventional approach which consolidates previous demographics and imbalances. An enhanced and innovative approach is urgently needed to empower communities to take control of their own development, to transport themselves from a legacy of decline to a vision of upliftment from within. One such enhancement gives hope to the realization of this vision. A government initiative supported by the European Union. Since post-apartheid relations with South Africa, the EU has formed close partnerships with government in working towards sustainable development goals, with a strong track record of initiatives effected in vulnerable and marginalized communities throughout the Eastern Cape. The invaluable knowledge and experience gained from such projects has led to a renewed approach in addressing some of the challenges. In 2006, the Eastern Cape Office of the Premier, in partnership with the EU, devised SURUDEC, a new program for sustainable rural development in the Eastern Cape. SURUDEC is a vision for the rural spaces of the Eastern Cape that places the future firmly in the hearts, minds and hands of local communities. It is informed by a belief that local residents are experts and key agents, that every individual has abilities, gifts and the capacity to contribute to lasting change.
SURUDEC is about providing grants to rural communities for them to develop community development plans, local development plans, which feed into the plans of government at the local level, the integrated development plans of local government. These then link into the provincial plans, and these link in then to the national plans for rural development. The idea is to, if you like, learn from the processes of the SURUDEC program and to upscale and roll out into the wider rural areas. SURUDEC sees the decentralization process in two spheres. One is the need for government to communicate with communities through provincial and local government, and for communities to link into government through their natural resource base and the economic and the social aspects of their particular areas.
Community plans are dynamic and can be positively influenced by both internal and external elements. To begin with, community members have a basic set of assets, typically land, labor, money and skills. In order to succeed, community members must factor the external and uncontrollable elements into their planning. These can be broadly grouped into two sets of circumstances: natural circumstances such as climate, quality and terrain or slope of their land, and the animals or crops they tend. Economic circumstances influenced by government policies and programs. These may include land tenure, access to finance or water, provision of roads and support services, the ability of the community to provide services, and access to markets for resources and sale of products or services. The driving purpose of the Community Development Plan is to look at the community's options limited by external factors, to set their priorities, and to define the scale and scope of their actions within the limits of their own resources and those available to them from the outside.
The biggest challenge that we see facing government and the communities is this interaction, is this handshaking between government, the private sector, the non-government sector, and communities.
The success of the SURUDEC program hinges largely on the credibility and support of appointed agents. GRM International provides technical assistance support through EU funding. With its solid reputation and credible space in the promotion, development and implementation of community development initiatives, and a strong historic association with the Office of the Premier, the Promotion of Rural Livelihoods Program, RULIV, was appointed as the implementing agent of the SURUDEC program.
RULIV facilitates the process of capacity development of government departments, district and local municipalities, and community institutions, so as to provide better services in poverty-stricken rural areas. Our overall goal is to pilot and improve on practices that could be generalized for efficient and effective service delivery and socio-economic development.
RULIV is poised to become the seat of knowledge and experience in the development of rural Eastern Cape, affording credence to this unique and valuable program and aspiring confidence in the successful implementation of SURUDEC's objectives.
Well, one of the elements of SURUDEC is to embed ownership in the community and generate a community voice. So it is a process of developing local democratization, accountability, local leadership, participation, real involvement in their development. And as such, we find it quite important that there's a level of organization in the local context so that the community feels that its visions and dreams are being addressed directly. And these can then, through the institution that's established, can be represented through the legal frameworks that have been established by government, by the Constitution, namely the ward committees and the local municipality and their councillors, because they've internalized their development vision sufficiently to have a clear way of communicating it out into the public. We had an initial application set of about 380 plus projects spread across the province, and through an independent evaluation committee comprised of representatives of various government departments based on a set of criteria that best represent the SURUDEC values, they basically selected 19 projects that are representative of the province in general, but also to ensure that each district has at least one project. And through organizing, they have a much stronger voice in motivating resources to be brought to bear to their development space.
Projects and opportunities come and go, but relationships built on trust and cooperation continue to exist and grow. Unified communities seeking to pursue a shared vision that captures their dreams and aspirations through building community assets. This is the hope that SURUDEC brings.